So Bank of America reported mediocre results today. Agnes Crane is on the case. Agnes, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is, at least when you first see the headlines, it was, a big zero for shareholders in terms of earnings, but it was $340 million. There were a couple of charges that we knew were coming. One was, just because of their credit quality, the value of their debt actually improved. This is one of these accounting quirks. That added about $1.9 billion, and then also litigation expenses. We had that Merrill Lynch class action lawsuit that settled. That was about $1.6 billion. So even if you back all that out, you look at the return on equity, it's still about 6%, 6.3%.
And
so
that's miserable for a bank, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. They're not meeting their cost of capital, they're destroying shareholder value. So they have a lot of legacy things that they're still kind of, chewing their way through.
But this has been how many years they've been chewing through the legacy?
Yeah,
I mean, will shareholders hang on? Because, think of yesterday, Vikram Pandit was pushed out by the board, kicked out, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Could the same thing be in the future for Brian Moynihan?
I mean, you have to think someone like Brian Moynihan looks at the developments of what's going on in Citi and
goes,
thinking of his own situation. I mean, the one thing is that he's only been in there for a little less than 3 years. I mean, it's a good chunk of time, but Vikram was in there since the end of 2007, and I mean there is some improvement. Their capital cushions, their regulatory capital improved significantly this quarter, and I mean they are showing signs of that maybe at some point they can go on the offensive.
Well, they've got a huge mortgage business. You think that would be doing fantastic? I mean, I'm getting mortgaged, so
no, exactly.
Isn't everyone doing that?
Again, this is one of the issues with Bank of America. They actually got out of the mortgage business. They did a lot of what's called correspondent mortgage business, where you basically buy loans from other banks. They decided to get out of that business. So in terms of market share, they're only about 4 to 5% of the mortgage market. And that's an area that they probably could beef up. And again, they talked about this on the call of trying to grow their business, market to their own customers, to try to get them to do a mortgage with Bank of America rather than another bank. So I mean, there's some room there, but I have to think that the pressure's on for Brian Moynihan of just, okay, we've spent the last 3 years just trying to kind of to put these legacy costs behind us. They also have a sense of how much they, in reps and warranties, this is part of this paperwork problem with mortgages, what that cost is going to be as well. So all of that's starting to come in focus, which gives them a little bit of an opportunity to maybe start thinking more offensively rather than defensively.
Any signs of that, of saying, we're going to start growing? Did they give any time frame on when they're going to actually stop?
Well, I mean, again, they're still very much in this new Bank of America plan. I mean, so they're still very focused on, reducing costs. I mean, and they're already kind of ahead of plan on that. So they still have to kind of keep their eye on that ball as well. But I think, they're right now starting to kind of see, maybe reaching a turning point.
Okay, great. So for more, turn in tomorrow to Breaking Views.